What's going on, my wonderful people? It's your boy Quezzy. I'm here on the road. I'm in South Carolina right now. Actually, I left Florida yesterday. Went to Georgia to drop a load. Yesterday, actually that wasn't yesterday. That was the day before yesterday. So it's been nothing but chaos. My very first trip by myself, solo by myself. It was nothing but chaos. First of all, my truck had brake issues. And it took a few hours to fix that. And when they did fix it, I had like 5 hours left on my clock. So I said I would start driving to driving to Georgia, at least drive for that 5 hours and stop at a truck stop or a rest area. But then when I went to hook up to my trailer, the kingpin wouldn't get locked into the fifth wheel. Every time I back up under it and I do a tug test, it would release itself. Like every time I set the parking brake, it released itself. So for some reason, it was a good thing I was doing my tug test like I should. Because if I had just backed up under it, put my lines on, raised my landing gear and took off, I would have took off and that trailer would have hit the ground. Anyways, so they ended up having to work on the fifth wheel. And that again took a few hours. So I ended up not going anywhere the day before yesterday. That was Sunday, yeah. I ended up not going anywhere on Sunday. So Monday morning, yesterday, I took off to Georgia. And yeah, I mean, I was out of hours, so I had to start late yesterday because I went off duty late, so I ended up waking up late. Well, not waking up, I had to start my clock late after 10 hours. So after all of that was my first delivery, that was my first trip, so it was a bit nerve-wracking. Like I was trying so hard not to mess up and everything. So anyway, I eventually went on the road. I was out of hours. I had to use personal conveyance to get to a safe place. So yeah, that was done. What happened was when I eventually got to the receiver, they're telling me that they're closed and there's nobody there to receive it. The gate was open, there were people there working and stuff like that, but they're saying they're closed. There's no one here to receive it. So I'm like, okay. So and he looked at me with this weird eye and you can't stay here. I'm like, what? He said, no, you can't stay here. He's like, if you stay here, these folks they'll call. He's in Georgia, so you know the accent and everything. These folks will call the law on you if you stay here. Like that's crazy. Like I'm a truck driver. You see that I'm here with your delivery. I'm out of hours. Where am I gonna go? He said, well, I don't know what to tell you. You can't stay here. I'm like, oh shit. I just put my ass out to the gate, by their gate. They have a bunch of no parking signs by the entrance of their gate to the right, but to the left there's nothing. It's just that grass. So I just went out there, walked on the grass a little bit, tested to see how, looked over to see if there's any like if it's solid enough for me to park on it. So I didn't go all the way on it. I just put like my tires barely on it, so I'm not on the road either. So I didn't back the road. Plus it was a dead end. It was a dead end, so there was no traffic going by or none of that. It was like an airport and an army base somewhere close to there, and that was it. So I slept there for the night. Woke up this morning. I still had to wait until they're open at 6. They open at 6 in the morning, but I still had to wait until I think 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I think 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I had to wait until, because I had to wait until 8 or 9 o'clock to go in, because of my hours. My 10 hours, I have to start after my 10 hours. So I had to wait until that time to go in. Luckily, there was no lines or anything. Right after I went in, there was like 4 or 5 trucks after me, after I go in. So I'm like, damn, I woke up at the right time. I got up at the right time. Anyways, it was a live unload, so I went, gave them my paperwork and backed them to the dock, and they offloaded me. They unloaded me, and now remember, they said I can stay there, so I couldn't stay there to wait for my next load, so I had to go, and there was nowhere close to park. There's no truck stop close by or anything. I had to drive like, I don't even know how many miles I had to drive. maybe almost 20 miles or 30 miles I had to drive to find somewhere to park, right? And when I finally got to the place, they have barricades at the entrance. I can't go there. I have to go somewhere else. So I have to drive down the road another 10 miles or so. That's crazy. Trucker life is hard. Life of a trucker is hard. I can tell you, it's stressful as hell. You can't just park this baby anywhere, right? So I eventually found somewhere to park, and I parked there for a little bit. Then I got a load to come here to South Carolina. Not long after I parked there, I got a load to come to South Carolina. So I was like, all right, cool. So I came to South Carolina. It was a Walmart DC, Walmart distribution center. So I just dropped the loaded trailer there and picked up an empty. So when that was done, I had they sent me a message that I should stay there until they gave me further notice. But man, I don't want these people to tell me that I can't stay there, so I just left. I found a truck stop, a 7-Eleven, not like less than a mile down the road. So I just went there. And when I went there was like other trucks there parked, but they were plenty parking still. So I was able to go there and got me some buffalo rollers, chicken rollers, and I bought some bungees to bungee my storage doors, because they're busted. Old truck. So when I was there, I told him I was available ever since that time. I didn't get no message or nothing. So I'm like, man, it's now 6 o'clock. If I go on sleeper now, I still have 5 hours left on my clock. 5 hours. But I'm like, if I go on sleeper now at 6 o'clock, then I get my hours back, my full day back at 4 in the morning, which is how I want to run. I want to run from 4 in the morning when it's still dark, but I know that it's going to be daylight soon, right? And there's less traffic at 4 in the morning. So I try to cover as much ground as I can within that 2 hours or so before it gets busy. 2 to 3 hours before it gets busy. And then I can shut down early so I can get parking. Because once you hit a certain time of day, it's hell to get parking in these truck stops or these rest areas. They're all full, right? And then you run in the dilemma of running out of hours and not knowing where to go. So I just put myself on sleeper with that in mind, that okay, I'm gonna get my hours back. I can start early in the morning, but I still left it that I was available, so that if they send me a load, at least I know that in the morning I can start early, head in the direction of wherever that load is. Right, off to an early start. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, when I went to the convenience store in the 7-Eleven and came back to the truck, I saw on the tablet that they sent me a load. I'm like, a still got like 4.5 hours left. The place to pick up is 2.5 hours away. I'm like, damn, if I pick up this load now, it can save me some time. If I pick up this load now, it can save me some time, and I can because I'm going to Ohio. Actually, this load that I'm picking up here in South Carolina, I don't remember the name of the place that I'm picking up, but it's going to Ohio. So that's like 600 and something miles away. So I'm like, you know what? If I can pick it up now and try to find a place to shut down that, when I pick it up, I should still have at least an hour left on my clock, so I can use that hour to find somewhere to shut down for the night. Now the thing is, now it pushed my start time a little bit out more, because whenever I'm done, I'm gonna have to count 10 hours down before I can start again. But it is what it is. At least I get the load and I'm, you know, like closer to my destination. You know, I feel like I'm wasting this 5 hours. I feel like if I go on sleeper now and just stay there, I feel like I'm wasting my hours. And in trucking, you'll realize that every minute counts. I remember my trainer used to tell me that. He used to drill it in my head, like, you know, Jared, pick up yourself. Respect Jared. My trainer, he's a cool guy, real cool. He drilled it in my head that, listen, your time is very important, because your time is your money. You can't waste none of it, right? Like, from the time you wake up to the time you go back in your sleeper, you gotta make every minute gotta be accounted for. And I still have that instilled in my head. I mean, I was never a tardy person, but I still have that I have that drilled in my head in regards to trucking. You know, that thing I used to do when you're in your own bed at home, that, okay, I'm gonna take 15 minutes more, or I'm gonna take that 15 minutes more that you take in the sleeper can be detrimental in terms of it can make you late. It can set you back in traffic or whatever. That 15 minutes is very critical. So you gotta get going, get on the ball. So I was a bit stressed. I was gonna make road videos and stuff, but I was too stressed, still trying to figure out the tablet, because, you know, there are certain things that I'm still not 100% on. So I was like still trying to figure out the tablet, and like certain things with the stops, and, you know, how to fill out the information and stuff like that. But I'm getting it. I already completed 2 successful loads, so that's good. So yeah, so I will see you guys soon. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, drop it in the comment section. Peace. Let's go.